RadioShack, founded in 1921, was once one of the largest consumer electronics retailers in the United States. The stores feature two main categories of goods and services. Number one, electronics parts and accessories, as well as telephones and telecommunications accessories. Number two, audio and video equipment, satellite systems, personal computers, and other electronics products. At its peak in 1999, it had operated stores in the United States, Mexico, United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada. The company had also sold licenses to other companies to be able to use the RadioShack brand name in other parts of the world, including parts of Asia, North Africa, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Despite its success, RadioShack began facing a number of internal and external issues that will be talked about later on, which led to a financial decline after the year 2010. Now, by the year 2013, RadioShack had losses of $344 million on sales of just $3.4 billion. Further, in the first 9 months of the year 2014, it also lost an additional $216 million, while overall sales slid by 16%. The combination of reduced vendor credit and liquidity, as well as declining sales, led RadioShack to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, not once, but twice, in 2015 and again in 2017. With this combined, RadioShack closed over 3,000 stores, leaving the chain with just 70 company-owned stores in operation today. In this presentation, we will be going through the controllable and uncontrollable elements that have led to the downfall of this almost 100-year-old tech giant. Finally, we will also be providing recommendations to the identified problem. So let's begin.
RadioShack had deficiencies in all four of its controllable elements, which led to the decline of the company. The first problem was with the store location. There were many RadioShack stores that were located too close to each other in North America. With so many stores within close proximity to each other, the store traffic dried up due to cannibalization. The company experienced a significant drop in profitability and inventory problems, as it became very costly to maintain many stores with insufficient inventory in one area. For example, there were 25 stores near Sacramento and California located within a 25-mile radius and 7 stores within 5 miles around Brooklawn and New Jersey. The next problem RadioShack faced was limited store space, with many of its stores crammed into smaller strip mall locations. This led to poor merchandising and consequently undesirable shopping experience among visitors. The third concern was the store atmospherics. Most of the customers perceive the store atmospherics as outdated. This is one example of a customer review. If you want to see a vintage customer electronics store from the 1990s, you don't have to go visit a museum. Just head over to the nearest strip center and look for the RadioShack sign. These are among the most tired-looking, antiqued, and out-of-fashion stores that exist in American retail today.
The second controllable element that went wrong was managing a business, in which there was high employee turnover. RadioShack faced a constantly changing management which did not help the company's efforts to turn itself around. From 2005 to 2014, the company changed its CEO 7 times. The results of this were adverse due to rising costs, constantly shifting management orders on short notice, and confusing commission structures. The workers' morale slipped even further. Next was low employee competence. So the corporate leaders swapped out sales staff for cheaper and unskilled labor that had no connection to its products from these RadioShack stores. The new workforce had no hope of recreating the product knowledge RadioShack had carefully nurtured with its customers for decades. Abandoning its skilled staff for unskilled workers led to a doom for RadioShack's customer service reputation. Next is financial management. Having experienced negative earnings since 2012, they needed significant capital infusions to stay solvent, for which RadioShack was able to obtain a $585 million line of credit from GE Capital and the $250 million term loan from Salis in 2013. However, the $250 million term loan came with a condition that RadioShack could not close more than 200 stores per year without Sally's consent. As the RadioShack's cash burn accelerated in 2014, the company attempted to close over a quarter of its stores to stop the cash outflows. However, Salis opposed the closure efforts due to lack of confidence that the company's business plan would succeed. This led to the bankruptcy filing in 2014 to 15.
The third fault was in communicating with the customers. They had changed their name to The Shack when they had tried reselling their products in the Target stores. This was one of the confusing marketing decisions coming out of RadioShack as it tried to find its way in rapidly changing retail environment. The company wanted to seem cool by referring to itself as The Shack, but the move was widely ridiculed, with critics pointing out that the company had problems far deeper than its name.
The next controllable variable is merchandise management and pricing. The first problem under this variable is poor product assortment, where there is poor width as most of their sales were due to cell phones. In the early 2000s, the company made a strategic shift towards selling cell phones and accessories that proved to be lucrative for some time. By 2014, cell phones alone accounted for about 50% of the company's total sales, making it a very risky proposition of a high product concentration. However, things also began changing rapidly after the introduction of iPhone in 2007. As the selling channels for cell phones began shifting towards buying phones through wireless operators, many carriers substantially reduced payments to RadioShack and similar resellers to mitigate the rising cost of subsidizing iPhones. As a result, RadioShack's profit margins and sales deteriorated significantly, precipitating the company's bankruptcy. The next problem we have is visual merchandising. Firstly, in RadioShack stores, products were not displayed in an appealing manner. Secondly, RadioShack would also push glitzy-looking products at the front that often failed to win over customers. Now, let's talk about pricing. The number one reason why people don't shop at RadioShack is because they believe the prices are too high, especially given that today's consumers have an overwhelming desire for discounts. Also, when you visit a RadioShack website and look for products, there are discounts on various products, but even after that, they are quite expensive and the brands they sell are unknown as well. For example, they sold headphones from the brand called Incredible Flips for $140 after a 30% discount. Now think about it. Why would people choose these headphones when they could buy a Beats headphones for the same price, right? Moreover, in order to stay afloat, RadioShack decided to offer its merchandise for at least double what its competitors were offering. A perfect example is a Star Wars toy on sale for $99 on RadioShack's website. That same toy is available at Walmart for $79 and on Amazon for a similar price. Again, why buy that toy from RadioShack when you can get it from a brand that you know and trust? Lastly is lack of consistency. RadioShack tried to compete with big box stores. It lost its focus and pursued a path where there was no significant advantage in a highly competitive field. RadioShack also chose a strategy to compete in electronics to sell lots of wireless plans. They, however, lacked the volume to have price advantage that would allow them to compete with Walmart. They also lacked an effective outline presence to compete with Amazon, and their brand was getting outdated. Moreover, RadioShack tried to compete with higher prices and less selection. They were in a large market, true, but a very competitive one, and they were competing without a competitive advantage. They forgot to give customers a reason to shop at RadioShack.
There are three uncontrollable variables that contributed towards the downfall of the company. The first variable is consumers. Due to changing customer shopping patterns, RadioShack became irrelevant. The new age customers valued convenience such as online delivery, competitive prices, and product availability the most. In all three aspects, RadioShack fared low and was unable to keep up with customer preferences.
The second uncontrollable variable is competition. RadioShack made motions towards e-commerce efforts, including ship-to-store model. But that program, which allows customers to order products online and pick them up at their local RadioShack store, this started in 2006. However, That time, Amazon was already a giant force in the internet retail. In the late 1990s, while other companies such as Best Buy and Walmart were running early e commerce sites, Radio Shack's website did not allow customers to shop. Instead, it allowed store locators and press releases, but customers couldn't buy anything. Aside from a string of disastrous business decisions, companies like Best Buy and Walmart began to push Radio Shack out of its own niche. Then, Amazon popped up, destroying any chance of its ever recovering.
The last uncontrollable variable is technology. Technology has been on rise and it is very important for companies to keep changing as per the external trends. However, Radio Shack was 10 years late to move into the online business, making them lose most of their business.
Now, let's move on to some recommendations we've got for Radio Shack to help turn the company around. We've got a set of solid recommendations to tackle the 7 areas of concern that we've previously identified. So, without any further ado, let's begin with the target market. Here, Radio Shack should refocus its target audience to 3 groups. Number 1, the DIYs, which is a segment of people who believe in the motto do it yourself. These set of people believe in assembling their own gadgets after purchasing different individual machine parts. Secondly, we've got tinkerers. That is people who enjoy fixing and experimenting with machines and their parts. And lastly, tech hobbyists. Focusing on these 3 groups was what made Radio Shack a great brand in the 80s. They had a strong competitive advantage there. This segment is not very price sensitive and is very different from the broad market that Walmart, Best Buy, and Amazon serve, thus making it a niche target market.
The first step to optimize Radio Shack's merchandise management requires the product offering to be altered in order to meet the target market's requirement. Radio Shack can increase the variety and technological competence of its products while staying loyal to its do-it-yourself roots. Radio Shack should fill a niche need for customers looking to modify their electronic and technological products. For example, 3D printers, spare parts to fix their interactive LED screens, make their GoPros fly, and build drones. The next step is to adopt competitive pricing. One of the main reasons of Radio Shack's downfall was high prices of its offering as compared to its competitors. Today's consumers have an overwhelming desire for buying products at the best prices with discounts and offers. When a company fails to offer such competitive pricing, the consumers shift to other companies. Radio Shack should adopt a competitive pricing strategy by setting reasonable and suitable prices for their offerings. This could be done by looking at the prices of similar products offered by other companies such as Amazon, Best Buy, and other such companies.
To improve the next area of concern, that is communication with customers, we have 2 recommendations. Number 1, change the brand name. For Radio Shack to better communicate with the target audience and reposition their brand to appeal to tech hobbyists, using the company name Radio Shack might not fit with the new company image that they want to project. Radio Shack could be perceived as a brand that offers obsolete products. Thus, they should change their name from Radio Shack to maybe Tech Shack so that the company name is relevant to the desired audience. Second is to focus on selling customer experience. In order to appeal to the new target audience, that is DIYs, tinkers, and tech hobbyists, they should provide an exclusive retail store experience in order to gain a strong competitive advantage. The company should focus on providing customer experience through free technology DIY workshops and classes to their existing and potential customers at the store itself.
In order to optimize store location, we have 3 recommendations. The first one is adopting geographical information systems. To avoid cannibalization, Radio Shack should use geographic information system to undertake trade area analysis effectively. This will help the company to decide the number of stores required, its location of each, and plan its marketing efforts required in terms of their target market demographics. Second suggestion is opening stores in secondary business district. Ideally, the company should focus on having limited number of retail stores located at secondary business districts. Each store should not only be big in terms of size, but also should act like a flagship store providing customers with pleasant experiences. Our last suggestion under store location is make changes in the store atmospherics. Since RadioShack's store atmospherics are perceived as outdated and vintage by the customers, the company should target their retail store's look and feel in order to align it with desired company image. They should create stores that not only provide customers with experience but also modern store atmospherics.
Our next recommendation revolves around managing a business by improving the quality of RadioShack's sales personnel. As we are moving towards changing RadioShack's product assortment to products that are highly advanced in terms of technology, it is important to have high quality sales personnel with optimum knowledge and information about products in order to increase customer satisfaction. For this, we also recommend RadioShack to have on the job training to improve the quality of staff once hired. The next recommendation is to tackle the financial obstacles. Currently, 25% of RadioShack is owned by Microsoft. We suggest RadioShack to offer more equity to Microsoft, roughly 10 to 20% in exchange for more cash rather than taking on more debt. This way, the company can avoid high capital repayments and interest payments while obtaining enough resources to make a comeback.
The next area to be looked at is technology. Technology has been advancing, and it is necessary for companies to keep moving with the changing trends in the market in order to give the best possible experience to their customers. The first step towards this is updating the website. The current website is mundane, which refrains the customers from using it. They should give their website a more modern feel and make it interactive in order to improve the customer shopping experiences and their engagement. The second technological upgrade involves QR code scanning. This can help increase customer knowledge, wherein a person can scan the code in order to get all the information about a product or can be directed to the product page on the company website for people to look at reviews as well as product information. Lastly, RadioShack should develop an app. These days, almost all businesses have an app because of the increased usage of mobile phones and other such portable devices. So if they have access to all the products on their phone, it eases their process and thus increases customer satisfaction. Along with this, they can also integrate the app with the physical store to provide a seamless shopping experience.
The last area is customers. In order to align our services with the customer's shopping patterns and preferences, we have recommended two changes. The first one is adoption of the omni-channel. In today's time, tech-savvy customers prefer integration of the online and offline worlds to engage in a wholesome shopping experience. Currently, Radio Shack's operation are skewed towards the offline world with weak technological adoption. In order to appeal to their new target segment, Radio Shack should move towards providing an omni-channel experience to their customers so that their customer journey is seamless across different channels. The next change is to enable door-to-door delivery services for customers. Until now, Radio Shack focused on using a click and collect model for people to buy their products. But now, along with that, customers also expect products to be reached out to their doorsteps. This can be done by partnering with the reputed courier companies like FedEx to get the best offers and provide the best services to the customers, such as one-day delivery options and others. Along with this, the integration of the app, website, and physical stores would help create a seamless experience for the customers, which will enhance their satisfaction and in turn their loyalty for the company.
In conclusion, we believe if RadioShack implements these changes, it can relaunch itself as a stronger brand and once again attain the success that it had in the 1990s.